Namaste, Sacred Masters, and welcome to this pick a card session for your shadow work. We have the deck shuffle and 3 random cards from the Dark Mirror Oracle deck placed before you. If you want to purchase this deck, look for the link in the description box below. You can pause the video and take your time to see if any of these cards resonate with you, and then use the time code in order to jump to the card you choose. This is card 1, 2, and 3. Don't forget there are many more pick a card videos to choose from. You can find them in my playlist, Shadow Work Pick a Shadow Card, on my channel's main page, so don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell for more pick a card sessions. After you pick your card, I will explain what each card means in the book. Now, the book's description is poetic and can be confusing sometimes, but for the sake of sharing, I will read it out, then give you my interpretation of it. You will hear my interpretation when I remove my mask and speak with my normal voice. I will also give you a shadow prompt in order to get started on some shadow work based on the card you pick, together with Grabovia codes to help with your shadow work sessions, or sometimes a link to another video relating to the matter. Alright, let's get started. Pick a card and jump to the timestamp. The card you picked is I Won't Cry For You, and it's represented by the 3rd quarter moon. It is illustrated with a beautiful woman with deep blue eyes shedding dry tears of blood, with her back to the light of the moon. She holds in her hand a drop-shaped vial full of blood as well, and she gestures forward as if offering it. The sentence that resonates with this card is, I gave you my last gift, I shed my last tear for you. It is a time not to let you free, but to let myself free. This card tells us that breaking up can only be done by 2 persons. One will do it earlier maybe, but sooner or later, the other will follow. One can afford to do it in words and actions. The other will probably only be able to do it inside her own heart. It's painful, it's hard, it's sometimes necessary. Breaking up is not just letting go of a person. You are letting go a part of yourself, of hopes and dreams and trust. You let go of feelings and memories. You let go of emptiness you felt and the connection you relied onto. Anger will help at the beginning, but the last part of the road can't be done by just anger. Closure comes when you dry up your tears. It is a gorgeous moment when you allow yourself to, frankly, don't give a damn about it. All that was past is not a credit or a debt. It is just suddenly no more than a gift. You can raise your chin. After all, tomorrow is another day. Breaking up is always hard, but sometimes even though we don't want to be with a person again, we have not let them go yet. Just because you don't want to talk or be with somebody doesn't mean they don't have real estate in your heart. Letting go is a very hard thing to do because we want to remember the good moments, or should I say, the moments that fit into our story about what love is. We all create stories and narratives on what we think love should be, and when someone coincidentally fits into that story, we fall in love. When we let go of these stories we create in our heads, we can begin to work fully on letting go. Your shadow prompt for this will be, which of my exes do I think about? It can be occasionally, or it could be often. Each time you think about someone, your subconscious is prompting you that there is still some letting go to do. If you want an in-depth video on letting go, click on the link above or in the description box below. Use the Grabovia code 913-71895 to break the negative patterns of coming back to the past. If you want to know how to use Grabovia codes in your sessions for meditating or journaling, check out the link above or in the description box below. I hope this session gives you something to work on. Pick up your shadow journals and let's start finding our inner and true authentic self. I'll try to post more pick a card every week depending on my schedule, so that gives you some time to sit with your shadow prompt and begin working on positive changes to a new life. If you found something new about yourself, don't forget to comment and share with others as well. This not only helps build courage and self-esteem, but it also encourages others that they are not alone. I'll see you in the next session. Namaste. The card you picked is called Calling the Storm, and is represented by the third quarter moon phase. It is illustrated with a shaman woman wearing an antlers hat, dressing in crimson and brown, and holds a crow-headed staff to the storm. Autumn leaves spiral out of control around her as the whirlwind shakes the world. The sentence that resonates with this card is pull and release, push to the limit. The eye is the only peaceful place that can be. This card tells us that there is time to find and release our power, like a spring that has been compressed to the point that it has lost the memory of motion and movement. Yet, there is power inside it. Finding it is called empowerment. It starts from the belief in our power, in our ability to cope, to fight, to ensure, to overcome a challenge. However, too often we are encouraged to see empowerment as something that happens only within, in our psychological space. We are not necessarily islands. We can borrow the power of the world around, the context, the environment, the expectations. We do not control the storm, we just call it. To call the storm, we need not to fear it, and this is what makes us strong. After the storm, there is always sun. So, if the sky has been gray for too long, it's time not to fear the storm, but to embrace it. It will grow up and devour our chains and our jailers, and it would hurt us as well. But it will be healthier than just staring at the chilly rain. We can restart only after we let ourselves end. This card is really about the fear of shadow work, and how we must not fear it. Shadow work is essential in our lives because we have to look deep in the darkness in order to be healing from it, thus liberating ourselves from it. Through shadow work, we may find traits in us that we don't want to accept, and so we repress it. We think we can ignore it, but it always comes out. And when it does, it is during the most inopportune time. I don't blame anyone for not wanting to look into their shadow side to do shadow work. In fact, I understand it. I even made a video about how to conquer the fear of shadow work that you can look at through this link above or in the description below. So if you find yourself wary about doing it, go ahead and check it out. But ask yourself today, what toxic traits do I have? How do they present themselves, and how have you projected onto others even when you don't mean to? When you do this and begin to heal, use the Grabovio code 829876354 to remove negative energies as you begin to clear your life out. If you want to know how to use Grabovio codes in your sessions for meditating or journaling, check out the link above or in the description box below. I hope this session gives you something to work on. Pick up your shadow journals and let's start finding our inner and true authentic self. I'll try to post more pick a card every week depending on my schedule, so that gives you some time to sit with your shadow prompt and begin working on positive changes to a new life. If you found something new about yourself, don't forget to comment and share with others as well. This not only helps build courage and self-esteem, but it also encourages others that they are not alone. I'll see you in the next session. Namaste. The card you picked is Parasite. It is represented by the waxing crescent moon and is illustrated with a long-haired man with pale-faced heavy lids. A dull golden chain drapes over his forehead. Around his body and through his body, poisonous ivy grows and clings subtly to him. The sentence that resonates with this card is, "What can't survive alone will seek company, but instead of growing together, they will wither together." What this card is trying to say is that relationships is not a zero-sum game. Of course, using each other is part of the game, but it's quite different when use takes the shape of supporting rather than manipulation or exploiting. In the long run, a good relationship is a win-win, where the more I give, the more I get, and the other way around. Still, it's not always like this, isn't it? Not just in bad relationships. In the short run, bad is bound to happen even in the house of true love. We cling, we bite, we hunger for safety and freedom and support, And on the other side, we get mangled, bitten, demanded on. Well, it happens too often. It creates a toxic environment. It doesn't matter if we are the victim or the perpetrator, as poison is shared equally. One gets the pain, another gets the advantage. But the toxic part, they both get fully a parasite, a leech, killing itself as much as it kills the host. It sacrifices the journey to the destination, and then the destination to its own failures. The problem is not living as sheep, but the true problem is living as a sheep for 100 years. Now, it doesn't have to be a love relationship, but toxic relationships can extend to even family and friends. As long as a relationship makes you unhappy and you feel a sense of burden, you are in a toxic relationship. They are sometimes hard to spot because we deny it by choosing to remember only the moments of love. Toxic relationships happen because there is a lack of trust, honesty, and support. Sprinkle it with communication issues, jealousy, regret, disrespect, and lack of self-care, and you have a golden recipe for toxic relationships. For most of us, we can spot a toxic relationship from afar. But what happens when we could be the one who is toxic? All it could take is unhealed wounds from the past to make someone toxic, and they don't even realize it because they believe their actions are coming from a place of self-protection. We become so wrapped in our own desires and wants, we do not realize that our actions may hurt others. A mother-in-law could be toxic to her daughter-in-law because she wants the best for her son, and her son to be taken care of in the way she believes works, because that's her only experience. So, time to step back and do a double check on your life. Your shadow prom is to take a hard look inside and ask, what toxic traits do I have and how do they present themselves? Start to look at how you project them onto others. This is a good time to do a query now because you're doing it on your own. And it is the best time because you can repair your relationship now before they are beyond repair. Use the Grabovoi code 391194886061 to foster the energies of understanding for your session. If you want to know how to use Grabovoi codes in your sessions for meditating or journaling, check out the link above or in the description box below. I hope this session gives you something to work on. Pick up your shadow journals and let's start finding our inner and true authentic self. I'll try to post more pick a card every week depending on my schedule, so that gives you some time to sit with your shadow prom and begin working on positive changes to a new life. If you found something new about yourself, don't forget to comment and share with others as well. This not only helps build courage and self-esteem, but it also encourages others that they are not alone. I'll see you in the next session. Namaste.